Hello and welcome on in to Same But Different. Did you miss us? This week we are back and we have been challenged with reviewing challengers. I think we should jump right into it and hear what Darik thought of the movie. Take it away, Darik.
Thanks, Brody. Let's review Challengers, shall we? That's the movie. I liked it. I liked it way more than I thought I would, for sure. The first half of this movie, I was kind of dragging my feet. Well, the movie was dragging its feet, which made me fall asleep almost. But as soon as they played the game that determined who got to date Zendaya's character, that's when the movie really picked up for me. After that, it was firing on all pistons with the drama, with the comedy, with the dialogue, with the relationships, with the camera work, with the music. I think it really found its footing the second half. The acting was actually incredible. Loved it. The characters were crazy cool. The dialogue and the chemistry between everybody, it felt really nice and really fluid. It almost felt like an Aaron Sorkin script where the dialogue was snappy and what they were saying was intelligent, and it felt engaging to watch even if it was just dialogue. I agree. These two guys definitely wanted to bone each other, and I think they should have just got that out in the open to begin with instead of just beating around the bush. Zendaya's bush. Oh my god.
Why?
Because by doing that, they just allowed Zendaya's character, who was clearly mentally disturbed in a particular way, to play with them, to play with their emotions, and to play them off each other. The fact that she found tennis the driving force behind any relationship, behind any sexual chemistry or physical chemistry, tennis was her thing.
Tennis, anyone?
And they brought it full circle with the "Rah!" at the end. If you know, you know. As much as that was a cool character trait and a storyline, it's kind of like, do people act like that for real though? The camera angles and the camera movements and the choice to just toss in POV once or twice in there was kind of jarring and wasn't necessary to any storytelling elements. Not that I could see. If you disagree and you can prove me wrong, by all means, but I just don't think it was necessary. I think someone just threw it in there to look cool, but it didn't take away from the fact that everything else was pretty awesome. The second half of the movie, the music, man, every time the music came on, I mean, nothing was really happening, but because the music was so fucking cool, even the minute mundane things they were doing seemed epic.
Fucking kill.
The slow-mo at the end was a little overdone. I mean, Zack Snyder would have loved it for sure, but a little overdone. However, it did really stretch that tension to the point where I was like, just do it already. Just do it! And the non-linear storytelling, I liked it. Going back and forth and kind of having to judge what the time period is based off of hair length or facial hair, or where they are in the environment. It gets confusing, I get it, but I like non-linear storytelling. I'm a big fan of Quentin Tarantino storytelling and other movies that do that, so I enjoyed it. Yeah, overall, I mean, it wasn't a bad time. I liked it much more than I thought I would. So yeah, the first half I would have given it a 3.5, and then the second half I probably would push that up to a 6.5. So let's land somewhere in the middle here for this movie. Overall,
right down the middle.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't have like an overly good time with it. So we're going to give it a 5.5.
Wow. I don't know if I agree or disagree with what he just said. We probably should have talked about this knowing we weren't going to review it together. We could have known what we were talking about, but hey, it is what it is. Didn't like it.
Yuck.
It's tough because I don't think this movie was poorly made. I don't think the acting was bad. What it comes down to is I'm not the man who this movie was made for. I'm not the target audience. I don't mind a good sports movie. I really like some good sports movies, but tennis? Bro, I already thought I didn't care about tennis, and this kind of proves to me I care even less than I thought. To tell a story over like 15, 20 years, I don't know, I watched this weeks ago when we were supposed to review it. To tell a story over that long and have like nothing to say?
Nothing!
I just don't get it. I just don't get. I don't care about tennis. I don't care about polyamory. These two guys wanted to be together, so just do it. Just do it. Like, it's so much. You're. It blows my mind. It was so frustrating to watch. It would have been a far more interesting movie to me if these two guys were together as rivals, but they are bisexual men, and they are both interested in Zendaya's character then. That conflict between already established lovers who are very obviously in love with one another would have been far more interesting to watch than this awkward love triangle where nothing happens.
Nothing!
Like, you see them watch her dance at a party, and it's like a 2-minute scene of just cutting back to them and cutting to her going, at a party, sexy dancing. And then it cuts back to them and they're like,
Tennis, anyone?
like I said, the acting was good. It was nice to finally see some chops from Zendaya. She's good in Euphoria, and then other than that, I can't really say I've ever been that impressed with her. So it was good to see her, and the guys were good too. But it was just so much more frustrating to watch that I couldn't allow the good parts of this movie to come through as good, because I was always frustrated. And maybe that's a sign of a good conflict. And like I said, not the target audience, but none of this conflict was necessary if they would just speak.
Speak!
They didn't do that. They just brooded and went over each other's heads and under each other's beds.
Good one.
Another thing, for this being such a sexy phenomenon, there's no sex. That threesome scene that the entire internet is freaking out about? What did I miss? Because nothing about that was risque. 3 people make out and then she leaves. What?
Lame.
And then I read an interview where it was like, of course there's no sex in the movie. The tennis is the sex. No, it's not. Tennis is tennis.
Tennis, anyone?
I just didn't enjoy my time with it. I do recognize where it was good, and some of the cinematography was really good too, but like there were some really cool shots and really particular camera techniques that were really, really awesome, but there was no fluidity to it. There was no pattern to it. It just threw stuff at you sometimes, and I was like, that's cool, and then you never saw it again. Like that first person ball thing in the climax of the movie, if you can call it a climax, boring. You never saw anything like that in the entire movie, and that's jarring. I didn't hate this movie, or maybe I did, but I still can't give it like super low because I don't think it deserves super low. I've been bouncing between
Tennis, anyone?
so I'm gonna give it in the middle. I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 10. Coming into this review, I'm like, I'm giving that movie a 3. Was it bad, or did I just not like it? So I'm gonna go 3.5. That's what I thought. Did you watch Challengers? It seems everybody watched Challengers, and then no one went to see Furiosa or Fall Guy. Stupid Gen Zs and your sexual libidos. Even though they're like the least sexual people. Gen Zs have cut down sex and nudity in movies by a lot, and I think that's very telling that Challengers is now considered sexy. Whoa, I just cracked the Gen Z code.
I'm cool.
Did you see it? Did you like it? Tell me what you thought. Tell me what I'm missing as the person who this movie was not made for, because I'm very curious. Next week, hopefully, we will be back to doing this thing properly, and I think we should watch Hitman, because it is new, it is poppin', and I love Richard Linklater.
I think watching Hitman next week would be an excellent idea, so let's do that. Come on back next week, watch the new Richard Linklater film. Hopefully it's on Canadian Netflix by then. Otherwise, we'll have to do piratey things. Arr.
Keep watching movies.
Good one.